going on, YouTube? Okay, that was just some of my thread breaking on my loop down there. Got to fix that. Little Greenwood here, hanging out in my new bridge hammock that I made myself. You tell it looks pretty rough because there's thread all over the place from me sewing it and screwing up and redoing it and everything. Can you quit bumping the camera? And what started this whole thing was my other hammock, completely ripped apart. You can see here, this is one end of it. I cut the mosquito netting off and used it for this one. And it completely just sheared straight up, straight across the board. And so I needed a new hammock. And I wasn't really satisfied with that hammock anyways, with the comfort of it, with the gathered in hammock. I've been reading that a bridge hammock lets you lay a lot flatter, and it's true. So let me give you the tour around the hammock here and show you all the aspects of it. Okay, the part you heard ripping apart there at the beginning was this part right here, holding on by just a couple of threads here at the very end. Now, got to cut that apart and then lay them on top of each other, kind of like that, and then stitch back and forth like that, and that'll make a much stronger hold right there. So anyway, about the hammock here, it has a full-length zipper all the way down it. Keeps all the medgies out, all the mosquitoes, you know. As you know, with bridge hammocks, they have webbing sewed into the very sides of the hammock that make it like a suspension bridge, is why they call it a bridge hammock, on each side here. Those connect down to other webbing that I have on one end that connect up to a mini beaner, and then connect to the whoopee sling. And then at top, the marlin spike hitch, which is really my most favorite suspension now. That is so easy to set up. It is so easy to adjust the height and tension of everything. It is so easy. The rope here you see is not am steel. It is just some hollow braided polypropylene rope that I got from Lowe's. It was like $6 for 50 feet. And yeah, it works great. It's holding me up. You know, it's not as strong as am steel. It can't hold up like 1.5 tons or whatever like am steel can. And it's a lot more bulkier than I'm sure am steel is. But the only place you can get am steel around here is West Marine. It's down in Anderson. I live in Greenville. And so I didn't really feel like driving that far. Or you could have ordered it online, but again, I'm a very impatient person, so I wanted to get this done and going. The body, of course, is made out of, I'm guessing 1.9. I don't really know all that number stuff. But it's made out of ripstop nylon. So is the draft stoppers at the end, which is just to close off the ends there. The blue stuff, I got a place called Hancock Fabrics out on Launch Road, Greenville, South Carolina. And the green stuff I got at Walmart. Exact same stuff. So always look for your Walmart. Now that I know what it looks like, I'll know what to look for. On this end here, I have a little different setup besides the webbing. It's just the hollow braided polypropylene cord, and it just runs through itself one time, comes through, and then buries into itself and finishes off there. And that gives me a little place to put my spreader bar so it won't move around all over the place. And then coming on up here, it just makes an eye loop and then embeds into itself again. I didn't finish embedding it right here. I need to cut that off and finish it, but it lets me adjust this back and forth so I can get a even hang. And then of course, starting here, instead of a mini beaner, I just used a eye loop, and then continued on with the whoopee sling up to the marlin spike hitch. Okay, for spreader bars, what I was using earlier was this 2x4 that I cut down to about 3/4 of an inch round, and you know, notched the end and was trying that. But as you can see, it split on one end there and it cracked, so I was really very happy with that. And that would now become firewood. And so what I did was I went to the Dollar General store, bought the cheapest mop I could find. You can see here is the top of the mop, and it's just a regular little sponge thing with a little squeezy thing. and but all I bought it for was the aluminum handle. I sawed that off. On this end it was the original that had a loop that you would hang it on, and you just press it against the ground and it snaps right off, and it makes a very nice little little ring there to hold that. And so I made a little wooden end cap for this end, and that's been holding pretty nice so far. A little cracking, I don't know if it's just settling in, but it should be good. It's definitely strong enough. It hasn't collapsed on me yet. This end's the very same. This end is 3 foot and the other end is 2 feet, and same thing, except it just it's just fitting right into the end there, like that. I would change that to hollow braided cord, but I kind of running low on cord. I don't know if I'll have enough, so I'll just leave it like that for now. Okay, quick little talk about this hollow braided polypropylene. It came with this little plastic piece. It's called a fib in the instructions. It's really awesome to help you make whoopee slings and embedding and all that stuff. It's just a piece of plastic about 3/8 of an inch wide. It has a hole on the end, and you take your rope and you just embed it in there about 4 inches until it reaches there, and that really helps you just get it right in there, embed it quickly like that, pass it back through, pull it out, there's your rope, bam, just made a whoopee sling. You're good to go. Super easy. This thicker material, I think it's about 8 strands. It really holds really well, and you don't have to worry about making extra eyelets on the end and hanging something from them to keep tension and all that stuff. I haven't had any problems with it slipping yet, and you only have to embed it about that much, about 6 inches to 10 inches. It says, you know, it's pretty good stuff. There it is. And we're back. Okay. What I wanted to show you here is my form of insulation that I choose to use because it's cheap. Is the blue foam pad. You know, it's about 1/4 inch thick or whatever. It works pretty good in the bridge hammock. A little finagling around because it lays so flat and it's not gathered in. It's not going to, you know, compress the foam and make it hot up and do all the weird stuff. It's just kind of doing a hot dog kind of style, you know. That makes it a lot more comfortable. I heard of some people designing their hammocks so they can hang it from the bottom, slide it in the bottom somehow. I don't feel like adding a lot more material to the hammock already. It's probably already running around 2 pounds, including everything, you know, suspension and everything. So, you know, I think this is good to go. I think we're great. Okay, I wanted to talk about the design of the body of the hammock real quick. I did not know this when I was designing it to begin with, but I just started off with just a rectangular piece of fabric, and then I sewed the webbing on the sides. And then I hung it up, and it felt alright, you know, and then I sewed the mosquito netting onto it, and then I slept in it one night here in the backyard. And it, you know, it was okay. It was pretty close to a gathered in hammock. I was getting the banana shape, you know, with backward forces on the knees. It didn't feel great. I got up at like 3 o'clock and I went back in the house and slept the rest of the night. And so on hammockforums.net, Grizz told me that the shape of the hammocks is supposed to be hourglass. It's supposed to cut in the sides a bit. What that does is that raises your butt up a good bit because you're moving the material, so it has less material there for your butt to have to sit in. And I did that, so I unstitched everything. I unstitched, you know, the webbing. I unstitched the mosquito netting. It took me like 4 hours to unstitch it, like an hour to stitch it back up and cut it, you know. And it's a lot better. It's a lot flatter. My feet kind of fall down and into this small pocket. I think I got a little too much material cut off from the head part, and it kind of raised my upper shoulders up a little bit, but that's okay. You know, it's still pretty comfortable. I haven't slept in it yet. I'm waiting for the temperatures to cool down just a little bit more, and I think it'll be really good. I'll be able to snug in with my sleeping bag, you know, and I won't be sweating and stuff. And I think it's going to be great. I'm really going to try it out a couple times before I really try backpacking again with it, and you know, see if sleeping in the woods is for me. You know, so hopefully this is it. Hopefully this is the cream of the crop, the needle in the haystack, the bee's knees. the Knights of the Round Table, top of the class, grade A, sharpest tool in the shed, the Mount Everest of all mountains, Bermuda Triangle of all seas, the tall ship of all rowboats, best of the best, marine standard. Okay, I can't think of any more metaphors. So hopefully this is the best. Hopefully this will give me a very comfortable sleep, and I'm going to sleep on it maybe next weekend or the weekend after that, and I'll make a video about it and I'll let you know. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of my new hammock.